So we just got another brand new Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies leak that, if it's true, it will be absolutely huge for the game and could definitely be something that a lot of people will absolutely love to hear. So this leak is coming from Alex. He's been a pretty prominent leaker before and he's definitely gotten a lot of stuff correct. So even though we should definitely still take this with a grain of salt as we do with any leaks, it's definitely possible this may not end up happening. I do want to say that he is quite reliable for the most part. He says in a recent tweet that it seems like something is coming called Hardcore Quest for Zombies. And for those of you that haven't played COD World War II Zombies, let me kind of explain what hardcore quests are, which that's the only example of a hardcore quest we ever saw in Call of Duty. Now, this is not to say that it's definitely going to be just like World War II's hardcore quest. It can definitely be a completely different system, but let me just explain what World War II system was like, at least for the Final Reich. They did not carry this over into the DLC maps. It was only for the Final Reich. Essentially, there was the casual quest, which was a lot easier, and it basically told you exactly how to do it, basically carries you through most of it, but it was still a fun quest. It still had a lot of steps to it. It was just a lot shorter and a lot easier. The hardcore quest essentially made you do a lot of extra steps on top of it, and these extra steps, it would not tell you how to do those, and it essentially made the Easter egg quite a lot harder, which is obviously why it made it a hardcore quest. And honestly, hearing that we might be getting a hardcore quest in BO6 is a little confusing to me because we already have this whole guided mode feature, which is supposed to make the Easter egg obviously a lot easier to figure out because it's going to carry you through every single step. But I do think this is possible that we can get both systems because the guided mode is obviously just going to carry you through the Easter egg, but I do think it would still make a lot of sense to have it so the main Easter egg itself, when you're just playing on the regular mode and not in the guided mode, you can still have two versions of it, one version that's more casual and another version that's more hardcore. So there's like different layers to this. There's just a regular Easter egg, then there's the guided mode, which is as casual as it gets because it's literally carrying you through it, and then there's the hardcore mode, which is like the hardest version of the Easter egg possible. What's also entirely possible is that this new classic mode that was recently leaked, perhaps the hardcore quest is attached to this classic mode. I think that would be kind of interesting, but I don't think it would be necessary. I think it would definitely be fine to just have the hardcore quest be on top of the casual quest in the main mode itself, and then also be available in this classic mode if it ever comes out, of course. It's also possible this could be only on one map. I have heard some rumors that Liberty Falls might have multiple endings, kind of like Buried did back in the day. I guess all the Victus maps did as well. So it's possible that maybe there's just going to be multiple different endings to each Easter egg, and one of them is going to be considered the more hardcore version of the ending of the Easter egg, which is, I guess, kind of what World War II did as well. Technically, the endings did change based on which version of the Easter egg you did. So that's definitely possible. Maybe this won't be something that goes on for every single map, but rather is only on like one or two of the maps. It could also be like Infinite Warfare, where they have a whole nother quest on top of the main quest, and the two quests are not really correlated to each other almost whatsoever. And that is, of course, with the Ghosts and Skulls quest from Infinite Warfare, which I feel like each of those quests are big enough to be considered their own quests, basically, and a lot of them are even harder than the main quests themselves. All in all, I think out of everything we've heard about Black Ops 6 Zombies, the Easter egg side of it sounds to be the most exciting. There's definitely been a lot of leaks and even just straight up information we've gotten regarding the mode that I haven't liked personally. A lot of the stuff with the point system or different other Cold War mechanics carrying over, a lot of that stuff I haven't been happy to hear about. Of course, I'm going to accept it and still probably enjoy it nonetheless, but a lot of those things did definitely rub me the wrong way. And even with the gameplay reveal of Liberty Falls, there was aspects of it that I did not like. But when it comes to Easter eggs, I have not heard a single thing that I haven't liked yet. In terms of the guided mode and now this possible hardcore quest, which of course the guided mode is 100% confirmed, but then we have this hardcore quest which is not confirmed, but it could definitely still end up happening. And I've heard some people question why I'm excited for the guided mode. Why do I care about a separate mode that has absolutely nothing to do with what I enjoy out of zombies? I don't enjoy being, told exactly what to do through the screen itself. I want to be able to try to solve some stuff on my own and obviously not be carried through it. And the way the mode sounds honestly doesn't seem interesting to me. I don't want to have everything be round gated and then, I'm forced out of the game when the Easter egg ends. Obviously, that's not something I would personally like to play. But the reason I'm excited for it is because now Treyarch has a good reason to go all in with the Easter eggs. They're going to put as much budget into it, as much resources as humanly possible, because more people are going to do the Easter eggs now that everyone is going to have an opportunity to do them. And obviously that's also a net positive, the fact that more people are going to be able to do the Easter eggs rather than before where it was a low percentage of the community that was actively doing them. I really disliked Cold War's solution for it because their solution was essentially to just make the Easter eggs a lot easier, make them lack depth completely. And that didn't even solve the problem completely because the percentage completion rates are still relatively low. But I'm thankful that Black Black Ops 6 found a way to make sure that not only are the Easter eggs still going to be the quality and depth that they were in Black Ops 3, and hopefully even like Black Ops 4. I'm not sure if they're going to go that far with it, with like puzzles and such. I hope they do though, but at least we're going to have more things similar to that as opposed to what Cold War was like. But having this guided mode means that anybody can still do the Easter egg. No one has to look up a guide, no one has to do any of that, but this guided mode of course won't be available till weeks after the map comes out, so we can all still enjoy the Easter egg hunt on launch for the maps. And I really do think this game is going to have some of the best Easter eggs of all time. Just based on the fact that they're doing this guided Easter egg mode tells me enough. It tells me that they really do want to put a lot of work and care into these main quests. And they even came out and said that Terminus is going to have the most amount of side Easter eggs of any zombies map ever. Now, we don't really know exactly how that's going to work because, I mean, if we have a bunch of side Easter eggs and most of them suck, then it won't really matter. I definitely care more about quality over quantity, and I definitely hope the rewards are worth it. If they're really shitty rewards, it might not even be worth it. But as long as those side Easter eggs are fun and rewarding, then we have a really, really solid possibility of having a great game full of amazing Easter eggs here, regardless of all the other mechanics I may not like, regardless of not liking the HUD or not liking the armor system or not liking a lot of other things in the game. I just feel like as long as we have some really banger Easter egg quests, it might not really matter in the end. And I mean, that's kind of how I felt about Black Ops 4 Zombies. I mean, I don't want to say that I hated all the mechanics in that game, but there was definitely a lot of mechanics I didn't like. I didn't like the point system change. I didn't like the perk system change. I didn't like how Specialist became something that you just spawn in with through your loadout. I preferred Black Ops 3 system where you actually have to earn it in the map itself by doing some sort of quest. But Black Ops 4's maps had so many side Easter eggs and actually some pretty solid main quests as well. I know there's a couple steps here and there that are definitely not good whatsoever, but the quests themselves as a whole were really, really fun. I'm a big fan of Ancient Evil's quests, Nine's quest, Dead of the Night's quest is a lot of fun. Alpha Omega I think is pretty fun. The only ones that I'm a bit iffy on, I'm not crazy about Voyage, Tog, or Blood of the Dead, but I do think they can still have a lot of fun elements to them. But you still have 4 solid Easter eggs in that game that I think are phenomenal, really fun. The boss fights are really great in most of these Easter eggs. So I think despite the mechanics, as long as you have all of this, it might end up being a phenomenal game. I mean, Cold War, for example, if they had phenomenal Easter eggs, I think I would have liked the game a lot more. I would have forgiven some of the problems I have with the core mechanics, but they just didn't have good Easter eggs. Like, genuinely, I don't think there's a single Easter egg in that game that I think is an all-timer. They're all kind of just like, yeah, they're fine. I don't mind playing them. None of them are annoying to play, but they're just so lacking in depth and they're so easy, and it's really hard to get attached to an Easter egg and really invested in it or engaged in it if there's barely any skill curve to it, if it's barely a challenge, if it's something that literally you can master within one time of doing it. That is not a good quest in my opinion, and I don't think we're going to go back to those quest designs ever again, and I'm really, really thankful that they understand the importance of a challenging and depthful quest. All in all, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you have to think about this leak. Keep in mind, again, it could definitely be a fake leak, or maybe just something that just doesn't end up happening. Regardless, it is still something that's interesting to talk about, even if it ends up not happening. But don't set your expectations too high, because again, it could definitely be fake. I just wanted to talk about it because I'm definitely very excited if this is true. It's just one more additional thing to the Easter eggs that I think would just make the game so much better. But even just with how it currently is with the guided mode, that's already more than enough. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Peace out, everyone.